Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to speak at such an important conference. I'm sorry that I couldn't be with you in person today, but you can probably guess why I'm not here. As Labour's Shadow Minister for Peace and Disarmament, nuclear non-proliferation is at the very top of my agenda. By establishing my role, which doesn't have an opposite number in government, the British Labour Party has committed itself to an ethical foreign and defence policy. However, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Rather, Labour is attempting to build on the brilliant work undertaken by the late Labour Foreign Secretary Robin Cook and build upon his ideas to create and develop a more peaceful world. So in that sense, we must try and use Britain's role at the top of many of our international institutions to lead the way on multilateral and meaningful nuclear disarmament. Our position as one of the permanent 5 members of the United Nations Security Council, for instance, could be used to further the non-proliferation of these destructive weapons. Unfortunately, this is not an attitude shared by the current British government. Time and time again, they've failed to further the disarmament agenda, both domestically and abroad. At the first session of the discussions on the UN Treaty for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons in 2017, there was no British government representative. Indeed, I was the only British parliamentarian in attendance in New York that week. The UN ban treaty, as it's known, would fill the void left by the dissolution of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or INF, which was recently torn up by Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. If we're serious about ending the devastation threatened by the use of these catastrophic weapons of mass destruction, then we must be serious about the international legislation that goes with it. But it's important to consider how mass disarmament programs could affect jobs, for example, for people employed by the arms industry. We have a duty to ensure that the skills and the abilities used in producing weapons can be retained in pursuit of peaceful and environmentally sustainable industries. We should now look to apply military technologies to civilian applications. This would add to the value and potential of our public services as more talent is made available to institutions such as our National Health Service here in the United Kingdom. As part of Labour's shadow ministerial team, I'm currently working with my colleagues to prepare to implement these policies as soon as we enter government. If we do not act now, we will continue to face the menacing threat of nuclear annihilation. Whether a nuclear strike is launched by mistake or in anger, there is no doubt that it would have a catastrophic effect, not only for the future of the human race, but for all life on our precious planet. Shirking our international obligations only fuels the potential for nuclear conflict in the future. It's now time for us, as a movement and as an international community, to work together to achieve a nuclear-free world. I hope that you have a very successful conference in Basel, and I wish that I could have been with you in person today.